All right, Derek, thank you. Tonight, a News 5 exclusive. Former Cleveland Water customer service call takers speaking out about their time at the department. They tell us what they saw inside that department, their training, the timed calls, and how they genuinely wanted to help customers but couldn't. It's all part of our ongoing Drowning in Dysfunction series highlighting issues at Cleveland Water. 5 on your side, investigator Jonathan Walsh has their story and Cleveland Water's response.
I have to tell you, I was really excited that I was hired because I thought, City of Cleveland, I'm going to have a good job.
That wasn't always the case for, we'll call her Mary, who fears retaliation from Cleveland Water, so she didn't want to be seen on camera. We have verified, though, she was employed there. She recently worked as a call taker. She tells us training lasted 2 to 3 weeks. Then, if she couldn't answer a caller's question,
I'm afraid that if I take this call to a supervisor, I'm going to be in trouble.
Is it fair to say that supervisors didn't want to take calls?
They do not want to take calls.
Mary tells us if customers were unhappy with a water shutoff, questionable spikes in bills, or mistakes in billing, she was trained to tell them to write a letter. Any call passed along to a supervisor's voicemail, well, she felt that was a lost cause.
I'm not going to be able to help anybody here. I'm just a number, just taking the calls, click, hang up, take the call, click, hang up.
That's because Mary tells us the department wanted reps to cycle through customer calls as quickly as possible, all so that administrators could point to a low average for call times.
We're handling them in 4, 5, 6 minutes. They can get through.
You're handling them, but are you solving their problem?
I don't think we're solving them, and I mean that in my heart of hearts.
5 on Your Side investigators obtained this sheet that shows a performance review. Cleveland Water tracks their employees' talk time, hold time, and wrap-up. Administrators want all of your water problems to be handled in 7.5 minutes or less.
Customers are calling back 2 and 3 times because the problem is not solved, especially if the water is shut off.
With all of these issues, don't just take Mary's word for it.
It's been going on too long, and I felt like I needed to say something.
Julie worked for Cleveland Water nearly 10 years, starting in 1990. Even back then, she says supervisors were not doing their jobs.
No, they didn't want to speak with the customers. Nope, not at all.
She, too, felt helpless at work. She described to us Cleveland Water's responses to customers' letters.
Anything just to justify that the problem was on the customer side, for they can justify what the bill was.
Was it fair?
Of course not.
So, on her break, she says she would sneak downstairs at Cleveland Water to some payphones and call customers back on an unrecorded line.
The water department is saying that this bill is correct. But I'm looking at it, I'm looking at your history, and this is not correct.
Cleveland Water sent a statement saying in part the city is reviewing the administration and processes of the Department of Public Utilities, including Cleveland Water. It goes on to say a goal of the center is to resolve customer concerns in one call. But if calls escalate, supervisors should return calls within 48 hours. But let's be clear, this statement pales in comparison to our repeated requests for on-camera interviews so that you, the water customer, can see and hear directly from the people in charge. Your questions, our questions, go unanswered with this. Meanwhile, 2 women coming forward, trying to help and having a message for Cleveland Mayor Frank Jackson about the department.
I would tell him that they need to do a thorough investigation.
It's a total fraud, and I mean that in all sincerity.
And about the customers.
These people can't continue to lose their houses, water being turned off because of some billing errors.
We don't help them, and that's really what breaks my heart. It's water. They don't have choices.
I'm 5 on Your Side investigator Jonathan Walsh.